Official. See, this part I will keep in just because I get to catch this part. Welcome to another That's What They Said, a podcast where we question the questionable lyrics of our favorite songs and your favorite songs, if they're your favorite songs. Maybe no one likes these songs. Either way, I'm Sarina&Scott, and that's Scott Spinelli. That is fact. And today we are talking, how appropriate, Virtual Insanity by Jamiroquai.
Let me ask you, how old were you when you figured out that Jamiroquai was not a person and was actually a band?
A band? I was 36 years old.
I knew that was going to be the answer. I knew it. Do you happen to know the main guy's name? Did you learn?
JK. I did a little bit of research.
Yes. So this entire time, to be clear, you've heard this song before. I know this isn't right up your alley, but you've heard this song, obviously, right?
Yes.
But you thought that he was a guy, right? Like Led Zeppelin's a guy. That kind of thing.
I thought Jamiroquai was the dude with the big hat in the music video.
So what I learned, as you know, I like to do a little deep sea diving. As it turns out, we weren't the only ones who thought that. Apparently, they had at least a record or two beforehand, and where they were sort of known, but on a smaller level, and everyone kind of knew what the deal was. Lead singer JK, band Jamiroquai, and then when this one blew up, and everyone just thought that like that's what the deal was, and in the music video, there's a reference that the scene in the video where he is walking through that little hallway and those four other people sort of like get sucked out of the hallway.
Those are the other band members.
That's the other band members. And that's a nod to the notion of like, it's all about him now. Like they were in on the joke of like Jamiroquai is just a guy, not a band.
Wow. So, kind of suck. I mean, other bands, like no one knows anyone but Chris Martin and Coldplay, but
yeah, but unfortunately, I don't think Coldplay sounds like a name as much as Jamiroquai does.
You're right. That's also, I was just thinking like, would suck for the other band members. If we should have thought that name through a little better.
Well, I think it hurts them the most because like there's there are instruments, but within the music video, there's no instruments being played. So you don't see anybody strumming on a guitar. You don't see anybody banging on drums. And so as a result, when you see just a front man, you know what I mean? It's not even like an NSYNC or Backstreet Boys where you might be able to detect someone else's voice. You don't even hear that in this. You just hear one guy.
It's just the one dude singing. Right.
Yeah. So jokes on us, JK.
My dog once again has decided to reestablish her sitting down position. So this is good. I'm glad once again. JK on Biggie. Appropriate.
Yeah.
Also the name JK, very appropriate now. Like I wish he was, he's still around, but the joke's on you, man. Like come back. JK is a great name for an individual to have.
He's the original LMFAO, if you will.
I'm surprised that the song only got to 38 on the Billboard because I swear I heard this song on every radio station in the universe back in the 1990s.
I'll to that point, if I've learned anything from doing this podcast with you, it's that we are way off on Billboard.
We shouldn't. Maybe we should be voting on these things. Maybe,
but we're wrong every week, right? Am I wrong?
Every freaking time. Yeah.
Every time. We're both like, man, that should have been way higher.
Should have been higher. We are, but the way we use a reference, even though the reference is irrelevant to us, because we're like, no, this was a banger.
Yes.
Means nothing. Or we're just so really not in reality. Like we're both living in our own worlds. We're like, yeah.
We're living in a virtual insanity is what we're living in.
There you go. Okay. British funk band.
Yes. So I have one more little nugget about the actual video itself, which is probably the most that's what I'm looking for. The longest lasting thing from this song is this video, right? Do you remember the video, obviously, right?
Everything in his big hat and the bug bugged me because all of it warning the world of like the dangers of being immersed in the digital world. The fact that they're still like, but there will be roaches is the world ends, but one little mofo bug will still find its way to survive.
And the crow didn't quite understand.
Oh yeah, the crow I didn't get. The bug though, I'm like, damn.
Well, at least the bug I could understand. It's gross, but I could understand maybe
they'd survive. Cockroaches survive forever and ever.
Not 100% sure what the bird thing was, but that video apparently was. I rember it being a big deal, and it sort of stuck around in people's minds.
The hat. Sorry.
Well, and also the floor. You like the hat?
Oh, the floor.
Yes. Your remembrance is the hat more than the floor.
Yes,
I think
but
you're
I
the
do
only one.
remember the final. But I'm like, I wonder what his head looks like. Like, does he have hair? I'm not
No,
sure.
he does have hair, but in most of his other videos,
He
he is
doesn't
also
wear a
wearing
hat.
a funky hat. No, he's
Oh, he
wearing a
is.
funky hat as well. That one though, he's got like the cat in the hat, right? Like
Hmm.
or
That
is
was a
that cat hat?
statement. That was like
Yeah.
pre-Pharrell when he had the Arby's hat in one of the awards.
Yes, yes.
I was
That
I
was
was in it.
that was a certifiable look there. But either way,
Hmm. Yes.
apparently the way they made this video was they locked the camera and then they had like stage-hands move everything else. Like that,
Oh.
it was really like much more low tech than it appeared. Like they locked the camera and then they choreographed how, like if you could picture in a sound stage, they would write north, south, east, west on
Hmm.
the walls, and then the director, from as stuff was going on and JK's dancing around, he's north, 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 south, like that's how it wound up working out.
Wow.
Yeah.
Someone needs a compass. I sure wouldn't know
Yeah.
north, south, east, west. Like I
I was confused
definitely
listening to it. Yeah, for sure.
never eat sour watermelons. That's the
That's what
only
yours was.
way. Yeah, what was yours?
Never eat shredded wheat. Which I don't know if the Kellogg's people
ever wants shredded wheat.
I don't know if like the Kellogg's people worked at my school and made that one in there. It's like, yours makes sense. Sour watermelon's kind of gross.
Right.
But
I mean, shredded wheat all the time. Gross. The frosted mini wheats, though. Let's just go off on a tangent here.
Yeah,
We
sure.
used to eat these in the 90s, the frosted mini wheats, but sometimes my pops would buy the wrong box and it would just be frosted wheats.
Oh, yeah.
Holy cow. I mean, you're getting like an arm. Like it would be this huge, the mini.
There were 3 in each box. That's all you got.
Yes. But if you didn't eat frosted and you just ate shredded wheat, I mean, what is wrong with you? Oh,
I got a similar story. Okay, just one quick cereal story, and then we'll go back to this, because I agree with you 100%. And this just proves me to be a full-fledged moron. So I was at work and I had a those like little to-go cereal containers, right? And I was eating it in an area without a ton of light. That doesn't really make sense as to why, but just wherever I was.
A child eating cereal in the dark.
No, I was an adult. This is me as an adult, to be clear.
Still think you're a child. Sorry.
Appreciate that insult. I'll keep moving. So I'm eating Cheerios, right? And then I say to my friend, I go, I think these have gone bad. These taste like nothing. He goes, what do you mean? I go, these Honey Nut Cheerios are disgusting. They're not sweet at all. I hold up the carton and he looks at me and he goes, those are regular Cheerios. I go, no. Regular Cheerios are Honey Nut Cheerios. He said, no, they're not. I thought because of the lighting that the package was faded. Like that the different color orange, because it's yellow for regular and orange, I think, for the Honey Nut. I just assumed that it had been in the sun too long. And then I learned that day that people were actually eating regular Cheerios. I remember thinking, I'm eating Honey Nut because that's like less sugary than the worst stuff I could have. Turns out there's a whole layer below a regular Honey Nut Cheerios.
And people eat, right. Like, why would you eat the Cheerios if you have the Honey Nut?
Yes. And Honey Nut is not dripping in honey. It's not like you put your paw in there, you come out
sweet.
like Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just thought that everyone I've told that to is like, you didn't know that there were regular Cheerios? And I didn't. No. I thought they were one and the same.
It's just like Jamiroquai is a band, and I just learned that today too. So
that's well done there.
That's
one of the two of us is a professional here. So to actually get into the song for a hot min here.
I'm glad we just went on a tangent for cereal. Focus back on Jamiroquai, JK, and virtual insanity. Yeah.
So my thing is that I didn't realize, like, right from the jump, how dark this song is. Because I don't know about you, but as a kid, I found the lyrics of this song very hard to decipher. So I didn't really know a lot of the lyrics other than maybe the chorus. And then as I got older and there were much more websites where you could clearly, somebody, had sort of, transcribed the lyrics. I was like, okay, now I know what the song is definitely about. And like that first line, it's a wonder man can eat it all when things are big that should be small. It's like from the jump, it's a wonder we can even eat. Like, Jesus.
I mean, you can't. You're eating Cheerios thinking that they're Honey Nuts. So, I mean, this song really should speak to you.
It does, yeah. But that's dark, isn't it? Isn't that crazy dark?
honestly, the song was too catchy. To your point, for me to even listen to him warning us of anything, I was like, "Ooh, warn me on the dance floor." Like I wasn't ready to really consume these lyrics.
Warn me on the dance floor.
Just-
I just love the idea of like, hey, I'm gonna cut a rug real quick, but when I get back, I will certainly listen to how bad things are gonna be.
Warn me. Yeah, no. I mean, he could have said, "Don't walk forward, you'll get hit by a car," and my step would have gone straight into that automobile
Oh,
because the
absolutely.
beat is everything. It's a catchy beat, which is
It
funny because it's more appropriate now.
well,
Now the
it's
song
like
is
oddly predictive.
yeah,
Yeah,
the
and
bugs.
I mean that's the thing to me with this song, that it's like just super dark mixed with a very, the message of the song is very dark, but to your point, like it is as catchy and dancey as hell. I mean, like
Like
that's
that's basically what you should be doing in the song, like ba-da-na, ba-da-na,
yeah,
ba-da-na, ba-da-na, ba-ba-ba-ba-ba-ba. And you're like, yeah, whoa, who cares about anything
it's
except the
true.
guy is like, y'all need to worry about this.
No, there's some serious things. Like there's another line, I forget if it's in the first or the second verse, where he goes, "And nothing's going to change the way we live because we can always take but never give. And now things are changing for the worse." I was waiting for like the end of it, for him, the end of the video, he just blows his head off. You know what I mean? Because like at some, like this is so dire.
There's blood in the video, so
True,
you
maybe
know,
that's, but he does end with, "And it's all
you're
right."
oh, it's funny. All the songs that we cover that are somewhat morbid or sad, they always try and like fix it at the end. Like we
Yes,
still live in this like happily ever after. We need a happy ending. The main character can't die. So
sure.
like
Well,
maybe
to me,
we
that's,
should.
I mean, I mean, that's a product to me of like the artist doesn't get to. There's a reason. Unfortunately, they're right. There's too many channels between us and the artist. I think if the
Mm,
artist got to put out his original version, like I remember talking to an author once about a book where he told me the ending for the book, and it is a guy who's got a number of paperbacks out. Like he's a established author, and there was a like a grisly death scene in his original ending, and it's not a dark book. And then his editor was like, "You can't." You
wow.
can't do that. Like that's way too dark. We got to come up with something else that people aren't gonna want to, give themselves paper cut to death. You know what I mean? Like this is no good. And so
Yeah.
I think that like this is probably a song too, where like, hey, if we're gonna do this, let's make people want to cut rugs. You know?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the song was a hit, even though it was surprisingly not a hit in the US. It what did it come out in 1996? I'm sorry we skipped, but like just to give background, it
Mm-hmm.
was released as the second single of their third studio album. Again, when people choose singles for their albums, don't you assume that they're going to go, "Okay, let's go with this. It's going to be a banger." Like you want your single to be representative of like, yo, this is the song we're gonna put out to the world.
Yeah, but I always find it interesting to like, how do you know? I mean, it's easy to know now, but
Mm,
how do you know? Like, hey, let's see, what was the first one? Yeah, "Do You Know Where You're Coming From?" I don't know that song. "Cosmic Girl," I remember that song being fairly solid. The other song they have that I like is "Canned Heat."
okay.
You
I
ever
don't
heard
know
that
it.
song?
Mm-mm.
It's a good one.
I'll look it up.
That's all I gotta say. But
It's
no,
good.
it's a catchy song that'll be playing underneath us right now in the audio version of this. But the that's a good track. Either way, I'm with you. I don't understand how this song is not the first single. I mean, it's the biggest song of their professional career, and somehow it wasn't the biggest song on the album. The first song they thought of on the album. I'm with
Yeah.
you.
It came out, it hit the States in 1997, but it did well globally.
Mhm.
Um, but yeah, it won a Grammy. I mean, this was very successful.
Song's dope. I mean, the song's dope.
This
I,
song's dope.
one other thing I want to add about the song: great mid-song breakdown. uh
Okay.
where like everything just slows down and he does that little, like, I don't know what you call that, like it's not a bridge, whatever it is. How Puff Daddy would do that thing where he would say like, "All right, we gonna smooth it out," like that. It's like that, whatever those
That
things were, that in this song I really like.
the
So
bridge.
no,
It was like isn't that what it's called?
I think that's a bridge.
I think so. I mean,
Maybe
a
an
bridge is
episode.
also a physical thing that connects two pieces of land.
I'm Yeah, that's
So
no, that makes
perhaps
sense.
it applies to a song.
Yeah, I think maybe an episode when we get to like somewhere in the 600s or 700s, we'll get an actual music person on here to explain all the things we've messed up in the previous 655 episodes. But
I can't wait for that.
oh, I mean, I can.
Yeah, no, a lot of warning to me. The one lyric, I mean, there are many parts of the song, but the one that stood out to me was, and now every mother can choose the color of her child. That's not nature's way. I was like, in 1997, were we able to, I mean, outside of having sex with someone who looks differently, and then you're like, oh, they might have blue eyes, or they might, look more tan. It didn't work for me. My dad's super tan, my mom's fair, and I just look as fair as day. So I don't know.
I think I read that lyric as he's saying eventually, you know how people say like, oh, in 100 years, everyone's going to be beige, that kind of thing. 200 years, we'll all be beige, like everyone will look the same. I think he's talking about something like, if there's a swing and a miss, right? Like it was, I forget which NSYNC episode it was the NSYNC, I Want You Back, or yeah, that one where like, remember we were joking about how like they got everything right except for the fact that like the internet still doesn't work.
Right.
Right? Like this is one thing where he got a number of things right about like how the future was going to be just buried in your phone. But the idea of mothers being able to just, from like a drop down menu go, olive complexion, blue eyes, like, that he was.
I don't know if we're there yet. Yeah.
No, I don't think we are. I haven't tried to have a kid in a while, but
I think,
yeah,
I don't think we're there yet. Yeah.
No,
so I was like, man, again, that is some dark.
Yeah. I mean, one other little note here, the line where it's, oh, there is no sound, for we all live underground. That line is apparently they were in Japan, I assume touring. And I guess I've never been to Japan. Have you ever been?
No.
I'd love to go. But
shout out to Japan.
Yeah. What up? What up, Japan? Fat shout out.
They're gonna listen.
Yeah, no, we're huge in Japan. I look at the analytics.
They all do internationally well. Why can't we? Wow.
We're much like Jamiroquai. We're doing far better all over the world. Yeah.
We didn't even make 38 on the list. No,
we did not.
Sorry, Japan underground.
Apparently, it was snowing. There's like little underground cities there, not full underground, but like that's where that was. That's what that lyric is sort of inspired by.
Oh, okay. By the way, this is on their album Traveling Without Moving, which I thought was funny also because the entire music video, he's moving.
Oh, good
quite
point.
A bit.
Did not but still like.
Well, he's there.
Moving.
Everyone else is moving.
Yeah, but it's still it still works in terms of Mm-hmm.
Do you think the music video? Do you think it hit? Do you think it helped to figure out the lyrics? Because everyone who listened to the song on the radio or anything, and they probably didn't listen to the lyrics like we did because we were virtual insanity. We were way too caught up in other things. But do you think the music video accomplished any of that? Because again, all I focused on was the hat and the bug, and maybe that just says a lot more about me. But I was like, man, that hat is.
I'm curious to know. I'm curious to know if, like, because our age range I honestly think it was just too complicated of a song for us to understand at 9, 10 years old. I'd be interested to know if somebody like
an adult
my brother's age, not even a full-fledged adult, like my brother and sister are
10 years?
10 years, about 10 plus. So like, I think, I'm curious to know like what they thought of that song. Because like when we're 10, right? We're 10 or 11 when the song comes out. Someone who's 17, 18, 19, 20, I'd be interested to hear what they say. But I hate to let our listeners down. You're not going to ever hear what they say because we're not going to do an addendum. This is the New York Times. We're not going to amend this podcast.
No.
Go out and ask a stranger. Yeah.
Ask someone and see if they understood this song, because you'll be surprised.
In the words of the notorious B.I.G., if you don't know, now you will know. I'm paraphrasing, of course, from the late great C-Dub. But
yeah, anything else? I mean, to me, the song was one. Thank you for picking this up. You picked the song, right?
I did, yeah.
I really was like, I learned something legitimately. They are warning you of the virtual worlds that we now live in, the song is very appropriate for 2022. And it honestly makes us look like, what were you worried about? 1996, 1997, we were still using VCRs, phone calls, like the internet was like, it made a lot of noise, but you really couldn't get as consumed as we are now attached to our phones. Like, to me,
God, yeah.
I'm like, man, you predicted the future. And that's really what I got out of this.
I will 100% concur and simply add that I don't even know if he was bleak enough. I mean, you know what I mean, in terms of how bad things have gotten in certain ways, certain things. I realize I'm saying that as I'm on a social channel,
a Zoom, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, like when people are listening to this, it's going to be on multiple platforms that are social. Yeah,
just
but
to my head,
we're trying to bring positivity and laughter, right? I mean, so I don't think this song was written about us. However, no, I agree with you 100%. Super dark song. Didn't realize how dark it was until I got older. And I'm glad that if nothing else, you now know Jamiroquai as a person. Excuse me, as a group, not a person.
See, you still can't say it right because we're not sure. Nobody knows except for them. His name is JK. That's where we'll wrap.
Yeah, maybe the whole thing's a joke.
And that's another episode in the books. That's what they said. Scott Spinelli, Sarina Morales, JK. Also catch us on YouTube because we're going to post these on YouTube now. Virtual insanity.